Hello friends, welcome back to another off the cuff chat with me, FPL Mez. I'm so sorry I was running slightly late. I just noticed that Rob T has put up his clean sheet odds and the goals scored graphic, and I was like, I'm gonna have to grab this, chuck this on my planning board as well, and speak to it during the stream. So thank you so much for tuning in live. I know it's really early hours of the morning where you might be in Europe if you're tuning in from the UK or from mainland Europe. It's about 8 p.m. over here in Sydney in Australia, and I imagine something in between. So yeah, good morning, afternoon and evening to everyone tuning in. As you can see, I had a pretty good game week. So I'm going to speak to my game week and have a chat about some of the transfers and the fixtures that are coming up as well, and what I'm thinking about the next couple of game weeks. So I've only been planning about 3 to 5 game weeks ahead. I'm really struggling to plan more like beyond that. I think last season and the season before, I was looking at 5 to 10 game weeks, and when I was playing my wildcard or just kind of planning ahead in general, but I just can't seem to plan more than about 2, 3, 4 game weeks at the most. So yeah, I'll talk through some of that as well, like what I'm thinking, and some of the dilemmas I have as well. I've got my post-it note and Sharpies as well, so I'm looking forward to taking some of your feedback. So please, I'm looking for some of that engagement in the chat as well. So yeah, please do let me know, like if you think I should make a different transfer, or if you have any suggestions as I share my team with you as well. I'll engage with you guys in the chat as well, so feel free to chuck some questions in as we go as well. It's a solo stream, so yeah, these are very much, one-sided ramblings of how my game week has gone and what I'm thinking about, and yeah, just the general sort of highs and lows and everything in between. So if you're tuning in for the first time, thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you also for subscribing and liking this stream as well. I really do appreciate it. I started my FPL journey about, this is my 4th season, but I started my YouTube journey or doing any type of content creation only last season, and I was having a terrible last season. So it was a lot of fun sharing my highs and lows last season, especially when around this time round, I was maybe about 4 million, 3 million. And I think I fluctuated between 5 million to about 2 million, at least for a third, if not sort of almost halfway through the season. So I'm all up for sharing terrible game weeks and how bad my season is going, but also celebrating some of the wins as well. And so, of course, this season I've had a slightly better season. So it's been really nice to share my season with you as a bit of a video diary. So thank you again for tuning in. And like I mentioned, got to celebrate the wins as well. So I'm drinking a very nice Japanese whiskey. So this is the Yamazaki. Can't remember exactly which one it is, but why not? It's been a really good game week. It's been a really good season so far as well. But I'm looking forward to sharing more of it with you guys as well. So really great to have you guys in the chat. Kiwi Spurs, thank you so much for being there. Great to see you as well, AJW. That's a bummer about your rank, going from like game week 5 around that 73k, dropping down to 1.4 million. So yeah, there's plenty of time. There's still a long way to go. So yeah, thank you for sharing how you're going as well. It's really nice to kind of see how your seasons are going. So let me know how you went this game week as well. Some of the transfers that you made, what worked, what didn't work, that kind of thing. So we're about a third of the way through. So I haven't been up till now sharing on my streams at the very least, or the videos or the guests that I've had on my show as well. I've not really been sharing what my rank has been. Obviously, we've been, talking about how the season's going, how the game week goes. And, I obviously sort of mention, this is how I did it in the game week. But given that we're about a third of the way through now, I'm going to start sharing how the highs and lows have been. So I am on a green arrow at the moment. I did hit top 4K. Really, really pleased with that. But of course, from now here onwards, I will start sharing how the season is going, how the game weeks are going as well. So yeah, thank you again for being in the chat. Manar, lovely to see you. Thank you again. For those that are listening on audio, so I am uploading this as a podcast as well. I'll do my best to describe as much as possible as I see on the screen as well to make it as engaging as possible for you. So thank you again. If you're interested in listening to it, you can check out the description, and I've got details in there where you can find me on the podcast as well. Before I jump into my game week, or game week 12 and how it went, let's just have a quick chat about the results. So those of you that are tuning in for the first time, I'm using a online sort of collaboration tool called Mural. Love using this tool. It just means I can keep my off-the-cuff streams and my show very, very low sort of maintenance and keep it super, super simple, where I can just grab some screenshots, chuck it on an online board like this, just kind of keep track of it. Actually, if you want to see for context, so this is how I have been sharing my season so far. So you can see here, this is what the board looks like. You can make it as big or small, however you want it to be. So this is all the way, game week 1 sort of period to where I am at the moment, which is game week. And so I've got like the where I've done streams with guests, I've got them at the top, and where I'm doing the solo streams, I've got them at the bottom there. So yeah, it's been like I say, it's been really good to share it this way. It just means I can keep track of my season and come back to it and try and find, I can just search on this board as well, find game week 5 and work out how I was doing in game week 5 as well, and sort of go from there. But yeah, this is a great way of just kind of keeping track of things. And I'll probably do a retrospective as well. So last season, what I did was every sort of 10, 12, 13 game weeks or so, I was doing a retrospective of that first sort of period or first third of the season. And I basically have a look at what went well, what didn't go well, and what have I learned from that first sort of segment of the season, and then the second segment and there onwards as well. So yeah, it's been a really good process for me to kind of learn from some of the highs and lows and the mistakes that I've made as well. It gives me an opportunity to look back and just have a think and all of that. Hey Ryan, great to have you in the chat, football chat box. Please do check out his channel if you haven't already. Fantastic FPL manager from here in Sydney, does a lot of great content, and I was actually chatting to him just last night on Scout the Game Week podcast as well, so you can definitely check that one out as well. Hey Nick, great to see you. Yes, nice reminder for those Spurs supporters how terribly City did, and well done to Spurs for just having a fantastic game week, and yeah, what a win for you guys. It's just been it was such a weird watch as well. So I did tune into that match, given that I still held on to Haaland for this long. So yeah, I did tune into it, but yeah, some really, really good games. I mean, the Leicester and Chelsea match, I was a little bit disappointed because I brought in Cole Palmer this game week. So yeah, not happy that I brought in Cole Palmer, and yeah, well, Madueke got in the way there. So yeah, I was a little bit disappointed about that. And I have to admit, some of my transfers have not gone well. So whilst I'm having a really good season and it's going great, my transfers itself haven't gone that well in terms of like the players that I'm bringing in and how well they're doing immediately, or like they're doing better like the second or third week that I've got them in, which is hilarious. And I mean, and Foden was just an absolute failure for me, and I don't even want to talk about that. What a clusterfuck the Foden transfer has been for me. But so look, I brought in Cole Palmer and he didn't get the goal. He didn't get any returns. So I was a little bit disappointed about that. It's been really frustrating to kind of, tune in and then find myself, screaming at my TV because, the transfer I brought in is not getting any returns. On the other hand, I brought in João Pedro. So Brighton getting 2 goals and João Pedro getting some of those points was just fantastic. Arsenal keeping a clean sheet meant that, I had Gabby in the team, really happy with that as well. Wolves, look, Cunha has been absolute fire. He's on my thumbnail as well. And yeah, I'm so happy with that transfer. I brought him in, I think, when Wolves were playing City, and I knew that he was probably not going to do much against City, but really pleased that I brought him in early because people, I guess managers weren't thinking about bringing in Cunha against City. They'd either gone a little bit earlier or they were maybe planning that transfer a little bit later. So I feel like I got in on some of the earlier transfers. Same with, João Pedro as well. I, of course, ditched all of my, well, I only had one Spurs player going into the fixture against, City. But look, Solanke got some returns there. Yeah, unfortunately, I wasn't planning to hold on to Solanke either. So, yeah, I took him out and brought in João Pedro. So I'll speak to some of the transfers that I made in a mo. Really good win for Liverpool, really pleased. It wasn't the best kind of win. I almost felt like, and I was chatting to Ryan about this on Scout the Game Week, that, it wasn't, it was almost like Liverpool hadn't really put their foot on the accelerator. So a little bit disappointing with, they played okay. I'm never going to say, Liverpool played, I have said Liverpool have played terribly, like, especially last season. But I thought they played all right, given it was an away fixture as well. And we've got Real Madrid, tomorrow morning or tonight for you guys tuning in from Europe. It's going to be a tough fixture, and then we've got City sort of after that. So some really good result given the circumstances. I think the result I was most surprised about was the Newcastle West Ham, and I had been thinking about. So spoiler alert, I have been thinking about Isak and bringing Isak into my team. So yeah, a little bit disappointed that Isak didn't get returns. I almost needed that confirmation bias to some extent, but. Yeah, here we go. Here we are. This is what's happening. Anyway, as I've sort of spoken to my bus team a little bit, these were some of the transfer thoughts that I had, or pre-game week thoughts that I had. So those that are tuning in, this is like my process. I'll just kind of speak to, this is what I was thinking before, the start of the game week. So Foden to Palmer was the confirmed move that I was thinking about making. But for my forward spot, João Pedro was a really, really last-minute choice, and I had been toing and froing on that one. So last game week, I had the fantastic Andrew FPL Point Break from the FPL SideNet podcast on my show, and he was on a wild card, and we were talking about, my forward pick, and I only had one option there and not much money in the bank to spend. So I think I had about a budget of 6.3 million or so, given that I was going Foden to Palmer. And so the options were pretty slim. And so you can see on the screen there, the options that I had was Solanke to either Wissa, Pedro, or even Nilsson. Welbeck was also in the equation as well. So yeah, I feel like I picked the right player, given the others blanked. But I was very, very uncertain about that, just because it's, the minutes was a problem, and he'd just come off the back of an injury as well. So I just wasn't sure what was going to happen there. Just want to say a quick shout out to those of you that have tuned in live. Thank you so much, Connor. Great to have you in the chat. Yep. Scout the Game Week is out. Please do check that out. It's really good to jump on there. I've done it a few times with Ryan, and yeah, it's been a good laugh, and we had a really good conversation yesterday as well. So please do check that out. Colm, great to have you in the chat. Thank you for always being there. Really appreciate your support. And AJW, I will definitely come back to your lengthier question. Feel free to drop me a tweet or on Blue Sky. I've now got my Blue Sky handle on the screen as well. That was the first time, doing that. But yeah, drop me a message with your whole team. That way I can see it in context as well. And Neil, so good to have you in the chat. Thank you so much for tuning in, and really appreciate your support as well. So thanks again, for being there. These were some of my pre-game week thoughts, but in terms of how my game week 12 went, so as you can see, it went pretty good. Damn it. Let me just bring that forward. Yeah. My GIF there just kind of falling behind, some of the screen, there. But, look, I finished on 80 points and a rank of 3,378. Really pleased with that. A gain of about plus 16 points, which is huge. I think my game week rank was, 286k, which is relatively high, not as high as some of my, I guess, fellow FPL managers over here in Australia recently have had as well. There's been some really high scores this game week and some really high game week ranks as well. So really pleased with that. I only benched about 8 points, and so the total I'm on is about 812 at the moment. Interestingly, the star of my team was João Pedro, with 12 points, and Saka being the killer in my team, who is also, spoiler alert, a player that I'm thinking about bringing into my team as well. But just to read out my team and how they did, so I had Flecken. Oh my God, can we just have a moment to celebrate Flecken's clean sheet? What the hell just happened there? I'm really surprised, honestly. I was not expecting Flecken to keep a clean sheet, but then Fabianski goes and keeps a clean sheet as well. Like, what on earth is going on? It's almost like we've gone no clean sheets for anyone, and then everyone's just been blessed with clean sheets. It's just so strange. But I played Fabianski last game week, so to play Flecken this time round, I was like, okay, it's Everton. What can happen? Will Everton score a goal? Not sure. Everton. Anyway, so yeah, I went into this game week thinking, yeah, I'll play Flecken. What's the worst that can happen? Really pleased that he got quite a few save points, but also the clean sheet. But also, what the hell, Everton? I mean, Brentford were down to 10 players for majority of that match, and they just could not score a goal. If you have DCL in your team, I feel for you, and kudos to you for being that patient with DCL in your team. There's just no way I could have done that. I think this season, if there's anything that I've done this season, is to be a little bit more ruthless with my transfers. Even if I'm bringing players back in, I've said this a million times, but I've had a on again, off again relationship with Havertz, and I just keep bringing him in and taking him out and bringing him in, taking him out, and I'm okay with that. I think, this season gives us an opportunity with the amount of free transfers that we can roll as well. And provided you've done some of that planning as well, I feel like I can just make some of those moves. So I've just tried my best to just play the fixtures, but not plan too far ahead. So I guess with the transfers that I'm making and taking out, I'm only thinking 2, 3, 4 at the most game weeks. So I've been able to take some players out and then bring them back in. It feels like a wasted transfer, but I feel like it's working for me as well this season. So I'm just going to carry on playing that way until it stops working, and then you just change tact again, right? So Flecken got 9 points. Gabriel kept a clean sheet as well. Really pleased to see that. So 6 points from Gabriel, Aït-Nouri 2 points, Robinson 0 points, but then the other option was Lewis, who's benched with 0 points as well. So, oh well, not much I can do there. I'm not that keen on my defense at the moment, or just defenders in general. I think if you're getting a full house of clean sheet points, then wow, like, who do you have? Let me know. Let me know in the chat. Like, is there a defender I should be thinking about? I tuned in for Ryan Football Chat Box's stream last night, and one of the questions I was asking him in the chat was, where do I go with the defense? Because I just feel like there's not many teams that are keeping clean sheets, and so we'll have a look at the fixtures that are coming up shortly. But I'm not really thinking about a defensive transfer at the moment, but I am definitely considering a defensive option maybe 2 or 3 game weeks later, but I have no idea where to go. So I'm just like, you know what, I'm just going to cut my losses, that I'm going to get 0 points. And it's okay, because my other, defending option is Greaves with 0 points as well, and he's out injured. So there's not much I can do about that. In the midfield, as I mentioned earlier, Palmer, I brought Palmer in, and you can see there how highly owned he is around me. He's 78% owned around me, which is ridiculously high. But honestly, I feel like I got away with not having Palmer for such a long time. So I'm really pleased that I was able to bring him in now, especially because the upcoming fixtures for Chelsea are looking so good as well. So I really don't mind having Palmer in the team. And yeah, I mean, heck, it would have been good to have some returns there. But I feel like it's almost a bit of a defensive transfer in, especially because I'm thinking about taking Haaland out, who's probably the next highly owned player that I have. I mean, Salah's obviously highly owned as well now. But so 2 points from Palmer. Brian Mbumo, whose form has sort of dipped a little bit at the moment as well, and I'm definitely considering taking him out shortly. Yeah, he only got me 3 points. Mo Salah, wow, you could argue. I'm not going to have the conversation or the debate, whilst I have thought about it, how easy the goals or how meant to be those goals were, and the yellow card and taking off his shirt and yada, yada, yada. Honestly, I am sad that he lost some points there, of course. However, I am so pleased for him. Like, he's just on incredible form. Give him a contract. Just give him what he wants. We are not going to be able to find a Salah replacement in the next, I don't know, however long. It's going to probably be, and we're not going to pay that much money to bring someone new in. So just pay him what he wants over the next couple of seasons or however long that might be. So yeah, it's really disappointing. And then there's so much distractions around that as well. Anyway, I don't want to talk too much about it, but Salah got us points. Really pleased with that. Rodgers, 2 points. Wasn't expecting too much. I don't know what I'm expecting from my 5 mil, midfielder there, but it's okay because my forwards did some magic, or at least 2 of them did. So João Pedro getting me 12 points and still very lowly owned around me, only 9% around me. So yeah, obviously benefited a lot from the points then. The gains were huge. Cunha still fairly low. I mean, 32%, and I've had him since, I think it was at least 5 game weeks or so. I can't remember when they played City now, 4 game weeks ago maybe. So I've had him for that long and, really benefited from his consecutive returns. And he's just been probably one of my star players for this season so far. So I went on to FPL Review and had a look at the season highlights, or was it on Optimize? I'm not sure, one of them. Had a look at the season highlights, and Cunha came up as one of my best players of the season so far, which I'm not too surprised about. Haaland, measly 2 points, very disappointing. Held on to him because supposedly he was going to score a hat-trick or something, or get a return or 2 against Spurs, who have been, I don't know, to the windows, to the walls. Like, what are Spurs doing? I have no idea. Like, they go from the most, easiest, well, not easiest match, but they go from a loss, against Ipswich to then winning 4-0 against City. So yeah, there you go. On my bench, I did bench Fabianski 6 points. I wasn't going to play Fabianski, let's be honest. They were playing Newcastle. There was no way we would have predicted that Newcastle was going to lose 2-0 at home. So yeah, very disappointed that Isak didn't give me a huge reason to just transfer him in very quickly. But that's one of the dilemmas I have. So yeah, I'm hoping that you guys will be able to help me out with that. Lewis on the bench, Dibbling on the bench, Greaves on the bench. Not much more to add there. I think in terms of like some of my post-game week thoughts, to just share some of those, so very quickly, I just added this to the board as soon as the game week was over. There weren't that many. I mean, I kind of knew even sort of going into game week 12 that, Haaland would probably need to go, and that I'd probably want to bring Saka in. I should probably capture that actually. Let me just do that now. Saka in. Saka looked really good against Forest, and definitely on my transfer radar as well. So I knew at that point, I think Haaland's latest blank just meant that, I was probably going to be taking him out and then looking at sort of bringing Saka in because the funds allows me that. And Isak or Jackson or Watkins are some of the players that I'm thinking about at the moment. But just to wrap up my Game Week 12 review and not sort of, stretching it out too long, I really love Live FPL and all the data that it sort of gives you and information, it provides. And this was probably the first time that I had 3 differentials or any number of differentials that were more than 70%, and all of them delivered. So I feel like I got very lucky this game week with all of my differentials delivering. Really pleased. There's really not much more to add there. And as I mentioned earlier in the stream as well, that I haven't been very lucky with my transfers in. So, I brought in Palmer and I brought in João Pedro this week, and, I managed to get sort of a plus, 7 returns there, which is really good. I mean, some managers have had a lot more, like taking out some of their City players and bringing in, Cunha and João Pedro, and, and they've all sort of come back with lots of returns. But my previous transfers haven't really worked out well. So when I brought in Foden, I sort of, I didn't really gain that much over time. So yeah, really, really sad that my transfers aren't great immediately. I don't get that instant gratification basically, but that's okay. Like, I know Palmer's going to do all right, and João Pedro will continue to do really well. So Cunha still has to be one of my favourite players that I've brought in. Look, just 16 points is huge. So yeah, really, really happy with that. just going to have a quick look at the chat. Thank you. Actually, so Zen, despite my crap results, I'm so pleased. I'm really pleased to hear that. That's really good. And, I think that's exactly what you got to be. Like, you've got to be, just focus on what you've got in front of you and take each game week as it comes. And that's exactly how I've been playing. Colm, thank you for the Van Heck option. I'm actually going to write that down because I probably will forget that. I'm sure I'll come back to him at some point, but thank you for that. I will grab that now and just pop it down here on my board. I completely agree. Liverpool FC TV should have gotten rid of Haaland weeks ago. Your rank would have been even better. City are finito, absolutely. I haven't owned him all season and capped him every single week so far. Wow. You know what? I don't regret having Haaland and Salah in my team, though, because I've had Haaland and Salah in my team from game week 1. I triple captained Haaland in game week 2, so I have been very attacking, I guess, in my sort of transfers and how I've tried to play my chips anyway. I've played my wildcard in game week 6, which I'm still deliberating whether that has gone well or not. But playing my triple captaincy in game week 2 definitely gave me a leg up. Can you imagine playing a triple captaincy on Haaland at the moment? Probably not so much. So yeah, really pleased that I was able to play that a little bit earlier. I took out Salah in between. So I think I took out Salah in my game week 4, I can't remember now, somewhere in between. I took out Salah, brought Salah back in, had Trent. I think it was my wild card, actually. I took Salah out, brought Trent in, gave it 2 game weeks, and then I was like, you know what, I'm going to cut my losses and just swap that around again. And been captaining Salah since then. Haven't really captained Haaland since I brought Salah back in. So absolutely right, probably would have been a lot higher, but these are the things I guess you learn as part of making those transfers and moves, and as you sort of progress in the season. And for me, this is season 4, and so I feel like I'm just playing it my way, but also playing it in a slightly different way than I have in my previous seasons as well. So yeah, it's something I'm learning, and I probably make that part of my retrospective as well, that how do I get rid of players that are usually doing very, very well. So like Haaland, who has started off the season really well. How do you sort of recognize that form may not shift as sort of quickly as we hoped? And I think Haaland's now gone 5-ish sort of weeks without, or in the Premier League anyway, without significant returns. So yeah, it's a really good shout there. So in terms of like where I am in terms of ranks and all of that, just to kind of wrap up my game week 12 review. Look, I 15 away from 1K and only -5 from 5K, which I'm kind of happy about. Like I'm going around saying, I'm like top 5K, that kind of thing. So if I wanted to take a -4, it would be my first hit of the season. I don't feel so bad about taking that. And so every time, so I was talking to Brian from the FPL USA Press Play podcast when he was in town in Sydney, and he shared a really good thought with me, which has stuck with me since then. And I think someone else mentioned this to me as well. Every time you think about taking a hit, have a look at the live FPL and have a look at what does -4 take you in terms of range. And obviously in this case it's showing me -5 takes me to 5K, so I don't mind that at all, but it's okay. So the other hilarious thing that I find, and look, I'm very much analytics FC and iTest and Grass FC. So I wouldn't really say I'm one way or the other way, but I love looking at data. So I work in the digital space, doing a lot of, design and product management. And I look at a lot of data in the work that I do. And so I love looking at data in general. And so I quite looking at charts like this from FPL Optimize, where they kind of show you what was predicted for you. And I'm just like, what the hell is that shit? What is that? What do you mean that was predicted for me? Meanwhile, here I am climbing, and you could see where my wildcard was, game week 6, where it kind of plateaued a little bit. But my triple captaincy obviously gave me a bit of a boost in the right direction. And since then, I think just purely from the transfers that I've made and some of the wildcard picks that I had, they've obviously worked out really well, and so it's given me a bit of a boost up. But occasionally I like coming back to this chart and having a look and sort of going, why are you predicting that kind of trajectory for me? It's really strange. But yeah, I love looking at it just for the sake of having a laugh, but also trusting my gut a little bit more and making, you know, decisions based on how my team is doing, where I want my team to go, where I want my season to go as well. So yeah, so this is a nice sort of reminder. I mean, you can look at it both ways, right? You can look at it and sort of go, oh my God, I need to kind of be matching that line, especially if it's on the way up. In my case, it's like drastically opposite directions there. So yeah, I'm sort of ignoring it, you know, for the time being. I'm going to pause there and I'm going to take a gulp of my whiskey. I feel like I'm talking a lot, but there's no one else to talk to except for you guys in the chat. So thank you again for being there. Please do hit like and subscribe. And if you haven't sort of tuned in previously and this is your first time, super rambly and very much about my FPL journey and how it's all going. So yeah, thank you again for being there. So now that I've done a quick review of my game week 12. Oof, that was quite strong. That's really nice though. Very smooth. So as I mentioned, I'm kind of looking at 3 game weeks at a time, roughly. So what I've done is taken Legomane's fixture ticker, especially the one that has like the European fixtures and the international breaks and all of that jazz sort of in between. And just kind of put a bit of a border around the 3 fixtures that I'm looking at the moment. So game week 13, 14 and 15. We've then got, you know, European games and then game week 16. So if I was looking at sort of beyond, I'd probably be thinking about... In fact, actually, let me give you a quick life update as well. So I'm heading over to the UK on the 20th of December. So that is just before... I think I missed the deadline. I'll be flying. I would have landed, I reckon, for the deadline, given how far ahead we are in Australia. But I obviously planned this really well, really strategically with my flights. So I'm flying out on the 20th and I arrive on the 21st and obviously the game week 17 deadline's on the 21st. And so, yeah, I'm going to be distracted while I'm in the UK for 2 weeks for Christmas, and I can't wait because I haven't been back for Christmas in about 7-8 years or so. Really long time to not get back for Christmas. But meanwhile, I've been back in the UK visiting my family once or twice a year otherwise, but usually around summertime because, yeah, it does get cold. You know, I think Australia or Sydney's best kept secret is that it does get really cold over here as well during June, July, August, September sort of time. So, yeah, I will probably, I'm probably going to be distracted during that time for sure as I spend time with family. So I'm probably going to be having a look at game week 13 all the way to game week 17 also, and planning for that so that I can at least sort of be a little bit strategic about it. I just noticed that EdgeFit is in the chat. That's actually Denny, my PT, who is probably looking at me sipping on my whiskey and thinking, Mira, you have an early start tomorrow. Why on earth are you drinking whiskey on this stream? Thank you so much for being in the chat, Denny. Great to see you and love you lots as well. And we can work off the whiskey on Friday when I catch up with you in the studio. So that's basically what I'm thinking in terms of how far ahead I'm going to be looking at my game weeks. And I'm just going to have a quick look. Oh wow. Liverpool FC TV, you guys, you are 37K. That's fantastic. Yeah, I really, Anand, really great to see you in the chat. I think Jackson is a really good striker. Yeah, definitely on my radar as well. Definitely thinking about it. Yeah, for sure. Mike, great to see you. Love having a Brummy in the chat. Thank you so much. Thanks, Denny. Really appreciate it. Will you be going for any games? Oh, okay. So I support Liverpool. And I'm a big Liverpool supporter. I've been supporting Liverpool for a very long time. I think since I was about 7, 8 years old or so. I think my parents live quite close to Selhurst Park, and that's where I grew up, around Croydon in the UK. And funny enough, I used to go to see Palace matches because the school that I went to often gave us tickets, and so I'd be able to get to Palace matches. But also I managed to see Liverpool versus Palace at Selhurst Park, and that was one of the first matches that I'd seen. And I think I recently shared this on Blue Sky, funny enough, with someone. And it was the first time I saw Inrush, one of my heroes, and Robbie Fowler as well, Steve McManaman. And yeah, it was a really nice experience for me as a kid. And my dad took me to the match, and I've been in love with football since I was very, very young. I think, as you do if you've grown up in the UK. Been to a lot of matches before I moved to Australia. However, in the time that I've been in Australia, which is 10 years for me this year, I've not been back to watch a game. So I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to watch a game. I have hit up a couple of my contacts over in the UK to see if I can maybe go and see some away games in London. So Liverpool are playing West Ham during that time. Actually, if we look at the fixture ticker, we can see here Liverpool are playing West Ham. So I could probably make it for the... actually, no, I lie. I can't make it for that 29th fixture because we're doing a big fat family get-together, and I probably won't be able to make it up to Anfield for the Leicester match. And I think there was a ticket offered to me for that Leicester match, and I was just like, how am I going to travel from South London all the way to Anfield on Boxing Day? I'm not sure how I'm going to do that. But the United match would be impossible to try and get tickets for, and then I fly back on the 6th of Jan. So I'm only there for 4 matches. So I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to see any matches, but maybe some local matches. I'm not sure. I'll see if my brother-in-law wants to go and see Sutton FC with me again or something. We'll see how it goes. But so very quick life update. Thanks for asking that question. Hopefully I'll get around to seeing some games while I'm over there. I'm looking forward to the cold weather, if I'm completely honest with you, because we in Sydney, I'm sure like other parts of Australia was very hot as well. We had a whopping 35 degrees today, and it was stinky hot, and it just rained after that. So very humid, very hot, and 35 degrees. So I'm looking forward to the winter already. So yeah, I fly out in about 3-ish weeks' time. Very excited to feel some cold, and it'll be amazing to have snow, but I don't think I'm going to experience snow out there. Quick look at the fixture ticker. Won't sort of speak too much about that. I will jump straight to the latest graphic that Rob T FPL put up on his socials. I was running a little bit late for the stream because I saw that, and I wanted to just grab a quick screenshot of it and chuck it onto this board as well. Really interesting to see some of those key matches that I'm looking forward to anyway. So Brighton being the early fixture against Southampton, I think that's going to be a really good game. And I think if it wasn't sort of for the early fixture and Gandhi, I'd definitely be thinking about João Pedro as a captaincy option there, given the form that he's on as well. I'm not too sure about that. I'm not keen to kind of go early on the captaincy just because I feel like it does a little bit ruin my game week and the weekends as well. I'm not sure, so I probably won't go there. But the other fixture that I'm looking forward to is Chelsea versus Villa. I'm really hoping my latest transfer in Cole Palmer really comes through and does well. So yeah, that'll be really good. If I bring in Isak, obviously I'll want to tune in for the Crystal Palace Newcastle match, and I imagine Newcastle will want to have, will want to sort of prove a point as well. So and try and get some good returns and make up for the loss as well. But otherwise, yeah, I have only Robinson in the Tottenham Fulham fixture. Brentford, look, Brian Mbeumo's on the graphic, and definitely a captaincy option. But given his form has dipped a little bit, I'm not sure I'd want to go there. So I'm definitely going to be avoiding as a captaincy option. And he's also part of my thinking in getting rid of him over the next couple of game weeks as Brentford's fixtures turn as well. So yeah, I'm not sure how long I'll have him in my side. Forest versus Ipswich, I imagine there's many of you with Chris Wood. I've just seen Nick drop a message in the chat. I know Nick has, he's just retracted. I know Nick has Wood in his team. And so, yeah, I imagine those of you that have got Wood in your team, you've definitely held him on for this particular fixture because Forest's fixtures do turn. So yeah, I really hope that he doesn't get any returns because there's lots of managers around me with Wood as well. So, and please don't take that in a naughty way either. Arsenal, West Ham just killed, Newcastle at home, but look at those clean sheet odds there, 42%. 42% clean sheet odds against West Ham is pretty high for an away fixture that Arsenal have. I only have Gabriel in the team, but yeah, I'm definitely thinking about an additional defensive option from Arsenal. And those of you that have Bruno or Garnacho, yeah, this should be Everton couldn't score against Brentford, who have been super leaky. I know United have struggled, to score goals, but I'm really hoping that things do change for you guys, those United supporters, and maybe that fixture against Everton will be a good one. But the match that I'm looking forward to the most, as you can imagine, me being a Liverpool supporter, is the Liverpool versus City fixture, which is on at ridiculous o'clock over here in Australia. So it's on out Monday morning at 3 a.m. And in the past, those matches have been, I think before the clocks changed in the UK and over here in Australia as well, those matches would be around 4:30 a.m. or so. And so I'd be able to wake up at like 4 a.m. or something like that, jump on the Optus Sport and just kind of watch that match. It's not a big deal. I've got a projector in my bedroom as well, and so I just wake up and just turn it on and just watch it from the bedroom or something like that as well. So but it's on at 3 a.m. so I think I'm gonna have to just I already scheduled my first meeting for Monday morning to be much later, so I haven't decided what I'm going to do. I'm not sure if I'm going to stay up for many of the matches on Sunday night, but what I might do is just get up early, maybe wake up at like 2:30 in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning, and just have broken sleep or something like that. This is the shit that we have to deal with in Australia. This is the shit that we have to deal with. It's so annoying. It's really frustrating. But yeah, this is the match that I'm really, really looking forward to. It should be a good one. Liverpool FC TV. Wow, been a Liverpool supporter since 1990. Yeah, that's probably around the time that I started to follow Liverpool as well. Maybe a couple of years after that also. And that's hilarious. Yeah, okay. If it weren't for your brother-in-law, you wouldn't have been a Liverpool fan. It's really funny because I think growing up in the UK, you're either especially in schools back then in the 90s, right? You're either a United supporter, a Chelsea supporter, Arsenal supporter, or a Liverpool supporter. And so, City weren't really in the equation back then. Or at least, not doing that well anyway back then. And so, yeah, you were supporting one of these teams and that's pretty much it. So yeah, I went with Liverpool just because, they were, I really liked Inrush and Robbie Fowler, and yeah, that's the generation that, I'm from, and I'm definitely showing my age now. So yeah, there you go. Good morning, Lofty. Great to have you in the chat. Thank you so much for being here. Thanks for tuning in, guys. I will come back to your question, Oamara, and have a look at that in context as well. Garnacho hat-trick. Oh, not sure about that. Yes, What Sleep Friday deadline stream is going to be a nightmare. Yeah, oh my gosh, yeah. So Ryan does great deadline streams over here in Australia. So yeah, try and tune in for that if you can. I will definitely be sleeping. I think the deadline is at 5:30 a.m., which is still a respectful hour to wake up. Like I can still wake up at 5 a.m., have a look at, half an hour of, just kind of opening my eyes and having a look at any sort of dramas going on the socials, and then make any final decisions, probably captaincy related, I imagine. And speaking of captaincy related decisions, there are so many options this week as well. So yeah, there's there's way too many options. It's kind of frustrating. So, I've got my and I'll come to my team in just a moment. But I'm thinking about captaincy on Salah, just because of his form, and we're in it to win it at the moment. And given City are just dropping points, it's just such a great opportunity for us to get some really good returns, and also be 11 points clear on top of the table as well. So why not? I'm definitely looking forward to catching that match, and also watching my captain play that match as well and get some really good returns. I really hope anyway. But the other captaincy options as well, Saka is a really good captaincy option this week. I would say also, given I have Palmer in my team as well. Palmer is a really good captaincy option. I love how Salah and Palmer, in this matrix anyway from Lego Mane, he's got it sort of kind of grayed out as not really a great captaincy option, I guess, compared to the other ones that are highlighted. So Saka's highlighted, Son's highlighted, Isak is highlighted, as is Bruno as well. But I actually think that Palmer is probably a close second captaincy option for me, after Salah being probably my favourite captaincy option for this game week. I'm just going to show you some of the thinking that I've been putting into the forward picks before I go into my bus team as well. So I have been seriously considering Isak as my forward pick. So I am taking out Haaland this game week, and I think there was someone in the chat who mentioned how patient I have been with keeping Haaland. Yes, I feel like I've practiced a lot of patience, done a lot of yoga to keep my shit together, holding on to Haaland. And I think there's many of us have probably gone, it's got to be this game week. Surely he's, the robot's going to be fixed and he's going to snap out of it. Surely he's going to snap out of it, right? Everyone's been thinking that. And look at his points. Obviously this has probably dipped a little bit given these models are updated on a regular basis. So this is FPL review, and given how frequently this is updated, and I know Sertalp is working on the Ensemble as well, which takes the data from all of the other algorithms out there and models out there, and sort of pulls together his own sort of charts as well. I think Haaland's one have dipped a little bit in what you see on this chart at the moment. So over the next sort of 5 game weeks, and I've only purposely put in 5 game weeks because that's how far along I'm thinking at the moment. He's predicted to score around 28 points, and then Isak, who I'm thinking is around 24 points, and then Jackson, who I'm also thinking is around 20 points. So I guess that's probably the pens for Isak. I'm not too sure, but if you look at sort of individually, it's not that bad. I think it's really only game week 15 where Isak's slightly higher than Jackson. So Isak being 4.8 and Jackson being 3.4. So yeah, I guess they're very similar. Maybe the pens sort of, help a little bit. Isak is a more clinical finisher. I'm not going to lie, that he's a really good option. And I think had he got returns against West Ham, I probably would have gone, I'm just going to make these transfers now. And I guess the other thing that I've been ignoring is price increases and drops as well. I've done my best to not, get sort of, I think where the budget has been really tight, I have made a couple of early transfers, only by a few days, just where I'm a bit more confident about the transfers that I'm making. But otherwise, I've just been ignoring the increases and the price drops, and there's been plenty of them, this week alone. So, and Jackson just went up to 8 mil there, as you can see. So, yeah, really, really frustrating. But Isak and Jackson have both had price increases over the last sort of 3 or 4 days, which is annoying. But again, I didn't want to kind of, make too many early transfers either without the information. And plus, there's been midweek games. So Liverpool are playing tonight or tomorrow morning for us. I feel like I wanted to just wait. So those are the 2 options that I'm thinking of at the moment, and mostly because of the fixtures. So if I go back to the fixture ticker and just show you, so Chelsea have got Villa at home, Southampton away, Tottenham away, and then they've got Brentford at home after that in game week 16, and then Everton away in game week 17. 13. But then after that as well, they've got Fulham, Ipswich, Palace, Bournemouth, Wolves. So right up until game week 23, Chelsea have got some really good fixtures. Now, whilst I'm not really considering them from a defensive point of view, not just yet anyway, I'm really tempted to go the second attacker in Jackson, and he's getting returns as well. So yeah, super tempted to go Jackson, precisely, for that reason. The other option, obviously, as I mentioned, was Isak. So if we look at Newcastle's fixtures as well, so Newcastle have a couple of decent fixtures coming up as well. So yes, they've got Palace, but then they've got Liverpool after that, which they could still, we've been leaking goals. So, but also keeping some decent number of clean sheets. It is a home fixture, though, for Newcastle. But after that, there's Brentford, Leicester, Ipswich, Villa, United, Spurs. So there's some really good fixtures there for Newcastle as well. So I'm definitely a little bit on the fence with this one. So let me know in the chat if you think that, when I show you my bus team, if you think it looks better, it could look better with Jackson than Isak. And, I might jump into FPL team and have a bit of a tinker on there as well while I've got you guys, and I can get some of your advice and I can jot them down and try and sort of, deliberate some of these decisions before the deadline, probably locking in Friday night, because realistically, I'm not sure if I'm going to wake up that early and be functioning to make any decisions at like 5 o'clock in the morning or something like that. So going back to the forward picks, I think the other sort of outside options there, I could bring in Havertz for the third time into my team, but I don't know, I'm a little bit on the fence with Havertz. Especially through this next kind of period of fixtures. And again, if we go back to the fixtures, sorry if I'm giving you motion sickness moving between some of these screens there, but these fixtures for Arsenal scream clean sheet high clean sheet odds for me. So, West Ham, United, Fulham, Everton, Palace, Ipswich, Brentford, Brighton. Maybe not Brighton, I don't know. Maybe that's a Pedro, João Pedro bias that I have there, but could be a clean sheet. Who knows in game week 20. But that's quite a few fixtures there. That's almost 10-ish fixtures, 9 fixtures where there could be some clean sheets there. So I'm thinking double Arsenal defence at the moment as opposed to double Arsenal attack. So I think I'll be avoiding Havertz for the time being. Watkins, I can't work out what's going on with Villa and Watkins at the moment. Like he's getting some returns here and there, and he did, game week 12. But yeah, I'm not keen, and obviously they've got UCL as well. So yeah, I think this is why I think Palmer's a really good captaincy option, because they've got UCL, so they could be a little bit, tired, exhausted. Who knows? Not sure if they'll bring entirely their A game. So yeah, not sure. But yeah, so I'm kind of like avoiding Watkins at the moment as well. So Solanke I've just taken out, but seems like a really good option. But I just feel like with the Spurs side, those returns and goals and assists are so distributed. You've got everyone, getting in on the action at the moment, like Maddison getting 2 goals against City, and then you got Kulusevski getting some returns, Johnson, Son, Solanke, of course, and so yeah, and then random outside chances as well from the rest of the team. So I just feel like Solanke, whilst is a really good pick, when I look at the price point of 7.6 mil, I rather than just have Cunha, who I have, or João Pedro, who I have as well, and just go for 2 slightly, cheaper options under, 7 million, and then go for a slightly more expensive options in Jackson or in Isak, which is why I've highlighted both of those players out at the moment. And that's pretty much it. And obviously I'm taking out Haaland, so he's not in the equation at all. And you guys will probably say that I'm absolutely crazy for thinking about holding on to Haaland now, given how long I have managed to hold on to him. So anyway, that's a very rambly sort of point to then go to my bus team and show you what I have been thinking. But before I do that, I'm just going to have a quick look at the chat as well. And have a look at if you guys have suggested any other suggestions there as well. Yep, Australian times for the Premier League are ridiculous. Here in South Africa, yeah, that's good. That's not bad. Yeah, you guys are in between there in South Africa. Are you trying Australia watching? Midnight crazy times. Yeah, sometimes I do. It depends who's playing, and if I've got nothing on, I'm not playing tennis in the morning or something like that. Then yeah, I'll definitely sort of stay up for the matches and watch the matches. Nick, thank you so much. Yeah, double Chelsea attack is the play, which is why I ditched Solanke for Jacko. Yeah, love it. And Nick, you're doing so well as well. I think you hit about 50k this game week, so well done. Really, really good place to be. Neil, yeah, definitely like the idea of Arsenal double defence, and Saka no room for Havertz. Agree. Yeah, I think that's where things are at, at the moment for me as well. Alexander, first time here, Liverpool supporter. Great to have you. I have Haaland also, but can't sell him now as I'm afraid he will start scoring again. Yeah, well, this is what I've been thinking the past 4 or 5 game weeks as well. And yeah, look, I don't know. I do think capping Mbeumo is a bit risky, but watch how he'll get some returns as well now. I just feel like Mbeumo's form has dipped, and so not keen to go there for a captaincy option. Unfortunately, there are, I would say, some better captaincy options this game week. And I mean, look, they were playing Everton. They could have scored. They should have scored against Everton, and they did. But Mbeumo obviously didn't get in on the returns there. So yeah. All right. So if I chat to you about my game week 13, my bus team, and I'll also show you a bit of FPL team as well, and what I'm thinking, where I'm at with what my team looks like, I guess, over the next couple of game weeks, and love FPL team for stuff like that as well. So dibbling out for Saka seems like the most obvious transfer to make, given that I'm taking out Haaland and I've got lots of cash. So yeah, taking out Haaland means I can bring in Jackson, I guess, in this case, and it leaves me with about 2.4 mil in the bank as well. So that's what I'm thinking at the moment. And I'll read out my bus team. So my bus team will have Flecken in goal against Leicester. Probably, I'm not sure how much longer I will keep hold of Flecken, but I think while I've got him, I'll probably play him against Leicester, given Fabianski has got Arsenal. Then I've got Gabriel in defence against West Ham. I've got Ait-Nouri against Bournemouth, Robinson against Tottenham. Now, I'm not stoked about playing Robinson against Tottenham, but I don't want to make a defensive transfer and take a -4 either. So I think I'm just going to, again, similar to what I did this game, like game week 12, is just cut my losses and just presume I'm going to get 0 points there. Because my other option is Greaves. Maybe Greaves plays. I'm not sure. I mean, that could be an okay fixture, I guess, against Forest. Not sure. I mean, Forest are playing really well, so I shouldn't really say that. But Lewis has got Liverpool. So yeah, I don't know, like, is there a chance that could just be 0-0? I don't know. I don't think so. We're just so attacking at the moment. So, yeah, I think from that point of view, I'll just play Robinson, I guess. And then I've got Palmer against Villa. I've got Mbeumo against Leicester. I've got Salah captain at the moment against City. I've got Saka, who I'd be bringing in against West Ham. And then I've got João Pedro at home against Southampton. I'm looking forward to that match because that's going to be 7 o'clock in the morning on Saturday morning. I'm an early riser in general, and I'm playing tennis at about 10 a.m. So that gives me enough time to wake up early, watch the match, hopefully see João Pedro score some goals, and then get ready to go and play tennis for a couple of hours, and hopefully it won't be raining, but it's going to be stinking hot over here in Sydney. I've then got Cunha up front at home against Bournemouth, and then I've got Jackson that I'm thinking about bringing in against Villa. And then on my bench, I've got Rodgers, who I could play, of course, so that is an option. But I've got Rodgers against Chelsea, which is an away fixture for Villa, but not keen. Lewis on the bench and Greaves on the bench, and of course Fabianski there in goal as well. So that's basically what I'm thinking for my team. And Colm, yeah, completely agree. There's no right or wrong answer yet between picking either Jackson or Isak. Good luck with your decision. Thank you so much. And FPL Tony, thank you for tuning in. Lately, Palmer has almost been as disappointing as Haaland might. Yeah, I completely agree. But I'm just hoping that given the fixtures are good, maybe the form will sort of come back with that. Watkins hasn't impressed me much either. I really want to go Jackson, but his yellow cards bother me. They do bother me as well, and that's a really good point. Let's have a quick chat about the yellow cards and Jackson and what I'm thinking about that. So Jackson's 4 yellow cards. I guess what I'm thinking is, because I previously had Dibbling and Rogers, which were my 2 cheaper midfield enablers, I could take out, I'm thinking about taking out Dibbling and bringing in Saka there, but then I've got solid 90-minute players there in the middle, in the midfield. And so, look, worst case scenario, depending on which fixture Jackson gets his 5th yellow and misses the match, I could probably play Rogers. And so I'd be okay with that, just to go for it, in terms of like the options. And yeah, Jackson just getting returns and being fairly consistent at the moment. Like his form is really good, so I don't mind. I almost feel like he's a differential. And in fact, if I show you the forward picks options that I had there as well. In terms of this is showing the elite sort of selection, but you can see there, and even around me, when I had a look at FPL review, FPL live FPL, and where I was getting points against me, Isak is highly owned than Jackson is. So I'm almost tempted, because I've been playing quite attacking this season, I'm almost tempted to just bring in Jackson and just go for it. And yeah, just because he's lower owned. And worst case scenario, I transfer him out and bring in Isak, because I've got the funds for it. So given how many times I've brought in Havertz and taken him out, I think transferring Jackson to Isak is not a big deal, if worst case scenario, basically. So yeah, that's what I'm thinking at the moment. With my transfers, and completely agree. There's no real, right or wrong at the moment. So yeah, let's see how that goes. But I will jump into FPL team and just show you what these transfers look like in the context of my the rest of my team and a couple of the game weeks coming up as well. So as you can see, game week 13, I just read out my team for game week 13, and this is if I bring in Jackson. So this is the team that I would play. But going into game week 14 even, I skipped ahead a little bit there. I'd probably play Fabianski against Leicester. So West Ham is away to Leicester in game week 14. But it's looking pretty good. So I'd probably maybe captain Palmer against Southampton, or put it back on Salah against Newcastle, I guess. So there are a couple of options there. Even Saka against United could be really good, but I think game week 14 I could easily roll the transfer, so I don't really need to do too much here. And yeah, even from the goalkeeper point of view, I'd be thinking about maybe bringing in Raya. Not sure. So it is an option. I could do that, but I think Fabianski against Leicester would be okay as well. If I move forward and look at game week 15, so I then have 2 free transfers going into game week 15, I could take out Flecken at that point and bring in Raya and just go, Raya, Gabriel, Aït-Nouri, Lewis. Maybe just hold on to Lewis, I guess. Maybe. I'm not sure. I do have 2 free transfers at that point. I'll only be using one, but I don't think I want to touch my midfield or my forward line at the moment. So yeah, it'd be okay. I'd still have the same players that I'd be bringing in, game week 13. And if I move forward to game week 16 as well, so the transfer that I've made over here, and maybe I'll hold on to Brian Mbeumo until game week 16. I could take out Mbeumo and bring in Gordon against Leicester. So it's a home fixture for Newcastle. So yeah, there's a couple of options there. I'd still have 2 free transfers going into game week 16. So only using up one. Again, my team looks really good. No complaints. Could play Lewis. Probably wouldn't want to play Robinson. But maybe Greaves is back by then. Who knows? So yeah, I could make a defensive transfer there as well. So Raya could probably be Flecken still, and I could take out Lewis or take out Robinson and maybe bring in Timber because I've got the funds for it. So that's definitely an option. Or at that point, maybe I bring in Konate or look at Virgil van Dijk as well. So there's a couple of options there if I have a look at, what my team looks like. And I'm not going to go too far beyond, 16. 17, I didn't even make any transfers at this point. But again, the team still looks okay with bringing in Gordon in that previous transfer. So yeah, so that's what I'm thinking at the moment for game week 13 in terms of the transfers. And I feel like my team's set up really well. I'm not really thinking about what the ranks will look like or how things will shape up. I just want to hold on to a couple of transfers here and there just in case shit hits the fan, because it's FPL and it's unpredictable. The fixtures are coming really fast as well. So I think from that perspective, I want to keep some options open to just bring in I don't know, any injuries, rotation. There's a couple of minutes risk players there as well. Yeah, anything is possible. Lewis has been getting, minutes, but João Pedro, I'm not sure. He's coming back from an injury. So, yeah, really not sure how much game time he's going to end up getting. So, yeah, look, that's what I'm thinking at the moment. Yes, I'm just tempted to now just make my transfers, because I think like the players that I'm thinking about bringing in, so just going back to my planning board, I think I probably will go Jackson, just because I've got the option to go to Isak with a free transfer the next game week or the game week after or whatever, given how many, free transfers I'm probably going to be banking as well. So I'm tempted to just go Jackson and make these transfers and yeah, just go for it and not overthink it, basically. I've tried my best not to overthink it. I'm not sure what the price increases are saying. I'm almost tempted to make the transfers now. I think I've had way too much whiskey as well. So I could just make the transfers now, but I don't know. Let me know in the chat. Is there anything else that I'm missing here that I should be thinking about? Is there anything that I haven't, any other players that I've not considered? Yeah, Jackson should be playing with his gag on to stop him opening his mouth. Absolutely. FPL Impulse, Pabs, so great to see you in the chat. Thank you for tuning in. Pabs is having a phenomenal season as well. He came on my show a couple of game weeks ago. Really, really lovely person and does some incredible videos and on his channel. So please do check out his channel as well. So I think Pabs hit around 20k or 25k or so, doing really well. So yeah, please do check out Pabs. But yeah, completely agree. Jackson, Chelsea's fixtures are really good. If he misses one, so be it. He is a hold until game week 28 or so. Yeah, I agree. I think I can play Rodgers if he misses a game. Or I can just transfer him out if he's not performing very well and just bring in Isak, and it's not a big deal. So yeah, let me know what you think. Like I say, I'm tempted to just make the moves just because deadline's at ridiculous o'clock. None of the players that I'm thinking about bringing, Saka looked okay against his, I think they were playing Sporting Lisbon. He got a return. Yeah. I think he get an assist and he took a penalty as well. So I don't think I really need to wait for any news. So yeah, I can make the transfers before any other price increases or wait till Friday night. But I think I'm out on Friday night as well. So I need to kind of work out when, and busy tomorrow as well. So yeah, it's nice to be able to do a live stream with you guys and get sort of some perspectives as well. So let me know what you think. But otherwise, yeah, I'm really, really tempted to just make the transfers and get it out the way and not think about it. Hey Akib, lovely to see you. Finally kicked out Haaland. Maybe I can gain a jump on top 50k. That's great. You gotta go for it, right? You gotta aim for that, and yeah, try and go for it. Karen as well, great to see you in the chat. Go win it for us. Yeah, I'm not sure about that. I'm just playing game week at a time and just taking it easy and having fun with it. So why not? Oh wow, you're going India tomorrow. So yeah, good luck with the trip to India. Enjoy your time in India. Happy to take some questions if anyone has any questions, and wrap up the stream fairly soon. Yeah, look, I'm feeling pretty good about these transfers, and so yeah, I'm probably going to make them. Actually, you know what? Sod it. Let me make the transfers now. Why not? Like, what could go wrong? Do we think Jackson's going to play? Is he playing? Is there any matches for Chelsea? Or maybe he gets rested? I'm not sure. But yeah, let's have a look over here. Let's go to my team. Fantasy. Wrong place. I was looking at stats and looking at what was happening there. So there you go. It's my team. Yeah, sod it. Let's make the moves. Why not? So Haaland out, Dibbling out. Select replacement. Jackson in. Why not? And Saka in. That's looking pretty good. I'm really happy with that. That's looking pretty good. What does that leave me with exactly? I think FPL team does not have the latest. So I thought I had 2.4 mil in the bank, but it looks like I'll have 2.1 mil in the bank. So I think that's all right. It's not too bad. It gives me plenty of options. I think why not? Early transfer, just chill. Yeah, no, I could do. Yeah, I mean, I think it's because I've got a busy few days. So I'm out all day tomorrow, out all day, pretty much Friday as well. And I don't have, I really like, and the deadline's 5 o'clock in the morning or 5:30 in the morning on Saturday. So yeah, it's going to be tough. And yeah, I've not made a lot of early transfers this season, but I think even when I travel, in fact, I'm going to have to make an early transfer when I travel as well on the 20th, because I arrive in the UK on the 21st. So yeah, it's, Nick just said, who doesn't love whiskey-driven FPL transfers? Look, it's always going to be a big risk, like losing Haaland, right? That's always going to be the case. I think Haaland dropped and Saka, Jackson rose. Yeah, that's why. Yeah, that's exactly it. Yeah, it's really annoying, but I've been sort of ignoring them, and I could just wait as well. Like, it's not a big deal, but actually, no, I'm just gonna make the transfers. Sod it. I almost want to just get it out of the way and not think about it. So does that look right? That's Dibbling out, Saka in. This is the first time I'm making live transfers, by the way. Dibbling out, Saka in, Haaland out, Jackson in. Done. Definitely whiskey-infused transfers there. But I already like my team. I really like how this team is looking. Yep, done. Holy shit, I just made live transfers. There you go. It's done. It's out of the way. I don't need to think about it now. Neil's like, you have time zones and social life to contend with. Most of us have neither. I'm playing a lot of tennis at the moment. I'm just enjoying playing the game, and yeah, I think there's just a lot going on in general. And so, yeah, I think between now and when I go to the UK and Christmas time as well, there's so much happening. And so I'm just going to have to make early transfers, unfortunately. So it's okay. In fact, when I was traveling in Peru, so my second season, I finished 2.5k overall in my second season, but I was traveling for 6 weeks of that in Peru. So I had at least like 7 or 8 days when I was doing the Inca Trail in Machu Picchu, where I had no signal whatsoever, and I was just away from the world. And I managed to get some signal when I was in a cafe, just kind of, loading up on carbs before I went on, the Inca Trail and camping out for a few days. And I I didn't have any signal, so I just made my transfers really early. I was making transfers 4 or 5 days early each time. So yeah, absolutely, Colm. Chazza has a lot to answer for. So I've been on the FPL Addicts live streams plenty of times, and I've seen him do live transfers as well. And he's always encouraged me to do live transfers, and I've never had the guts to do it, or not the guts so much. I didn't have the confidence to do it. And so, yeah, look, I'm glad that I've made the transfers. But yeah, definitely Chazza inspired, and hopefully he'll watch this back. And but yeah, big shout out to the FPL Addicts guys, and Chazza's just moved to the UK as well. So yeah, pleased to have made the transfers. Amara, I haven't made an early transfer before, 7th season playing FPL. You're tempting me. Do it. Why not? I've been playing really patiently this season. So, this is, I've not made many transfers this season either. So I think like this is my 10th or 11th transfers. Actually, let me show you. So if I just go to my game week history, you can see here, so transfers made 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. So I've made 9 transfers, and I've obviously just made 2 more. So 11 transfers is what I've made. I've not taken any hits. And yeah, you can see that, yeah, it's just only my 4th season. So I'm still learning FPL, I guess, and playing in a different way, and yeah, just kind of giving it a go. And yeah, and like I mentioned, first time I'm doing live transfers like this and earlier on. But yeah, I've made rage transfers out during a game week. So on a Sunday, I've made, transfers out after all the Saturday games as well. So, I'm not sort of alien to doing that kind of thing. But yeah, it's been a lot of fun. Hey, Dheeraj, great to have you in the chat. Thanks for tuning in, and thanks for tuning in, all of you. I really do appreciate it. There's about 26 or 27 of you watching. Please do hit that like. Please do subscribe if you're new and you're watching my stream for the first time as well. I do streams, videos, pop it up onto podcasts as well. Very rambly, very much about my own game weeks and my season, and what I'm thinking of for my transfers. I will never sort of say, oh, you absolutely have to go for this pick, because everyone's got a different team and everyone's playing, FPL their own way. I can only inspire you or, put you off the transfers that I'm making for my own team. And hopefully, yeah, you can take something away from that, from either tips or sort of, never do that again type of thing. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I might sort of wrap it up there. If there's no more questions, I'm just going to go back over here, just go back to the title. If there's no more questions, you have to double check pick team page transfer. Yeah, no, I will definitely do that, Dheeraj. Thank you. I will definitely, double check that. Dan the Man, great to see you. Good morning, and good evening from over here in Australia as well. Going to catch it on repeat. Thanks, Dheeraj. Be lovely for you to tune in. And please do leave a comment as well. I love sort of seeing comments and messages from you guys. I always respond to the community. So yeah, hit me up on Blue Sky. I'm now on Blue Sky as well, and also on X as FPL Mez 8. So yeah, you can find me on there. Drop me a message. I'll always respond. So yeah, give me a shout. And like Colm said, leave a message in the comments afterwards as well. It'll be great. Amit is asking, how do I feel now Haaland is out? I feel good. He's definitely going to get returns, and I think there's always going to be the risk. Haaland is the type of player who will get returns. His form will pick up again. But let's not forget, he's only 2 or 3 transfers away as well, and we can bank. I've been able to bank 4 transfers or 3 transfers so far this season. So there's always a way of, getting, Haaland back in the team, and there's plenty of options there. I can go back to Dibbling, for example, drop Palmer down to Dibbling, similarly to what I did with bringing Saka in, right? So yeah, there's definitely ways of going back there. And I think you've just got to make a decision and go, I'm going to cut my losses, and if it didn't work out, just go back. It's okay. It's not a problem. Sorry, Amara, I will check your team and I'll respond to you. Let me, I'll get a chance to have a look. I am a little bit tipsy, so, full disclosure, I am very much drinking whiskey at the moment, and I've almost sort of finished my whiskey. So I don't want to give you bad advice on a live stream either. So I will look at your team and give you some advice on your team, or at least some suggestions, and then it's entirely up to you if you take those suggestions in the context of your team as well. So yes, absolutely, give Salah a contract. Great ramble. Thank you so much, Nick. Really, really do appreciate it. Thank you, guys. Please do hit like and subscribe. Please do sort of share as well and recommend. Really enjoying sharing my season with you guys. Really do appreciate you guys tuning in and supporting me as well. It is very much appreciated. But look, good luck this week. We've got some really crazy fixtures coming through. So we've got a midweek fixture next week as well. So yeah, don't forget that there are some midweek games now appearing, and it's going to get sort of crazy. So look out for the news, all of that sort of thing. I'll definitely be doing the same. So yeah, hopefully green arrows for everyone. But take it easy, play it your way, have fun. Do whatever you want to do. Go with the gut feeling and the vibe picks as well. I think that's the best thing about playing FPL, and it's a game, so have fun for sure. Take care, guys. Thanks again. Take it easy, and see you soon.